Hello students, in this video I'll start the next topic of our chapter Constitutional Design, that is Philosophy of the Constitution. We will understand the philosophy of the Constitution through the preamble. The values that inspired and guided the freedom struggle are embedded in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. Before moving forward, we will see what is a preamble. The preamble of the Indian Constitution serves as a brief introductory statement of the Constitution that sets out the guiding purpose, principles, and philosophy of the Indian Constitution. It is an important part of a constitution. It is the soul of the Indian Constitution. It starts with we, the people of India. That means the Constitution is crafted by the people of our country. Next comes sovereign. That is, a sovereign country is free to make internal as well as external decisions, and it is free to frame its own rules and regulations. Then comes socialist, which means wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally by society. It implies social and economic equality. Social equality here means the absence of discrimination on the basis of caste, color, creed, gender, religion, or language. Then comes secular, which means no particular religion is promoted and all religions are treated equally. Citizens are free to follow any religion of their choice. India is a secular state and there is no official religion, and all religions are given equal respect. Next is democratic, which means a form of government where people have equal political rights. That is, a government by the people, for the people, of the people. Here, the representatives are elected by the people. India is a democratic country where all the decisions are taken by the representatives who are elected by the people. Republic is somehow similar to democratic. Democratic means people are empowered, they have rights, and republic means the head of the state is not a hereditary king or monarch but is an elected person. Next comes justice, which means all should be treated equally and no discrimination should be there on the basis of caste, religion, and gender. Government should work for the welfare of all, especially of the disadvantaged groups. Next is liberty, which means freedom, where there are no unreasonable restrictions on the citizens. It means freedom to decide on your way of life, which would include freedom to accept or reject everything that has potential to affect you. However, this freedom should be exercised in such a way that it does not affect others' liberty and life. Next comes equality, which means every person should be treated equally before the law. The law shall make no discrimination on any basis. The government should ensure equal opportunities for all. Then comes fraternity, which stands for brotherhood. That is, all of us should treat our fellow citizens as if we are members of the same family, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, etc. All this basic idea of the Constitution is reflected in the preamble. Up till here, we have covered the major part of the chapter. Now, we'll move towards the last topic of the chapter, that is institutional design. A constitution is not merely a statement of values and philosophy, but is mainly about incorporating these values into institutional arrangements. Institutional arrangements like the Constitution specifies that the institutions like legislature, executive and judiciary will have how much power? That is, the Constitution defines who will have how much power. It puts limits on the power of the government by providing some rights to the citizens that cannot be violated. Because of this, the institution can be run systematically. Now, we'll see constitutional amendments. Constitutional amendments refers to changes made to an existing constitution. Either an abstract idea is added or the idea which is already given in the constitution can be deleted. Now the question comes, why amendment is needed? Our society changes with time. So the ideas which were earlier believed as an integral part of the society may get outdated with the development of the society. With the change in society, our constitution needs to be updated. In accordance with people's aspiration and changes in society, the constitution needs to be amended. Constitution is not a sacred text which cannot be amended. It has to be updated to match the evolving nature of the society. Constitution is a dynamic and progressive entity. Hence, Constitution amendment is a sign of constant growth of this institution.